Hello and welcome to Will It Ferment, where I try to make a delicious alcoholic beverage out of apple juice.
Will it ferment?
We're back in the kitchen, ready to ferment. So this is what we're going to start with. Apple juice should be easy to ferment, should turn out into apple cider. Let's get going. Should be pretty straightforward. This is our bottle of juice. We will ferment in the bottle. Need a little bit more room than that. Let's pour off a bit of juice. We want to take an original reading from the juice so we know how much sugar is in it. This is the hydrometer, so that's our apple juice in there. You can see that that's floating freely. So what this does, it tells us basically how much sugar is in our water, and the sugar is what ferments. That's our fermentable stuff. So the more sugar, the more alcohol we end up with at the end. So we take a reading here. This tells me it is 1.040, I think. So what I'm going to do in my handy dandy logbook is write down with my handy dandy pen gravity equals 1.040. Okay, so that's all we need to do to get started. The juice goes back in there, and now we have our yeast. This is what converts sugar into alcohol. And I think we'll pour about half a packet of this in here, probably overkill. I think one packet of this is supposed to be good enough for like 5 or 6 litres or something, so it's way overkill, but it'll do the job. Put the lid back on. Shake. Alright, I think that's about good. I'm going very cheap with this. We're going to use balloons, the airlock, because I've run out of airlocks. Let's do a pink balloon. That bad boy goes there. And we're done. Okay, this is our straight apple juice, day 2, 12 hours in. Not sure what's going on with the balloon here. We can see that we've definitely got some fermentation action going here. We've got the bubbles on the top and we've got bubbles rising like mad inside. So there's definitely fermentation happening. I suspect that maybe the seal on the balloon isn't quite as good as it should be. Maybe if we do that, because with the amount of gas that's being let off by the fermentation there, that should have inflated that balloon by now. So I'm guessing that there's some gases that are escaping somewhere. I don't think we've got a failed ferment because we've definitely got fermentation action there. Just a sad balloon. Okay, balloon off, airlock in, and just watch that pressure going through there. That's the off-gassing from inside, and now we have a bubbling airlock. That was quick. So this is the apple juice which was being fermented into cider. I don't really see any further fermentation action happening there. The gravity is sitting just under 1.000, so I'd say that's finished fermenting there. I'm going to give this a taste. I suspect it's going to be very dry, so may have to back sweeten a little, but that's okay because I will still be very happy with this cider. I'm really happy with the clarity of this one. It's come out very clear and beautiful. I suspect that's to do with the yeast. Okay, and now for the taste test. Well, it's very dry, but it's not unpleasant. I would still like to sweeten it a bit. So I think if we bring the gravity up to 1.020, so add 20 points of gravity in sugar, that should make for a very nice drink. So give me a second and I'll get the measuring stuff out. Okay. Scales on, we need 50 something grams of sugar. This raw sugar here, going into this funnel there. 12. 6. 40. 53. Yeah, that'll do. Now I'm going to put the lid on it and give it a bit of a shake and mix up that sugar. That's had quite a good shake now. I want to take another gravity reading to see where we're up to now. I'm hoping it's 1.020. I can see 1.01. Let's give that a taste and see what it's like. That's actually really nice. It's not too sweet. It could probably stand to have a little bit more sugar, but I think I would leave it just as it is. I did notice shaking it up has actually made it a little bit more cloudy. There must have been a little bit of dead yeast or something at the bottom, which I didn't notice. That when I shook it up, it's put it back into suspension. Okay, I'm an idiot. The reason why that was not as sweet as I thought it was and I didn't hit my target is because the 55 grams of sugar is how much you need to add to raise 1 litre of cider 20 points, and of course I'm dealing with a 2 litre bottle, so I needed to double it. I needed to put 110 grams in. You know what, it still tasted okay, and I think I'm going to leave it as it is, but at least now I understand why I didn't hit my target. So the clarity has improved just in the last 24 hours. It's still not quite as clear as it was the other day before I shook everything up, but it will get better in time. However, I have decided that this is finished. It's actually really nice to drink. So I've chucked it in the fridge. Fermentation will stop because of the cold fridge. Any of the sediment that's making it cloudy may still precipitate out, but honestly, I suspect I'll have drunk it all before that happens because it's that yummy. Anyway, let's do a little taste test. I haven't added any sweetness, but I'm really happy with how this has turned out. It's, I guess you'd call it semi-sweet. It's not a terribly sweet cider, but it's not so dry that it's undrinkable. But because it's so, the flavour is so clean that the dryness doesn't upset me. It's really nice. There's no funky aftertaste or anything like that. It smells really appley, it tastes really appley, it's really refreshing. This is a lovely drink. I'm going to give this as 4 out of 5. The only reason I'm not giving it a 5 out of 5 is because I'm a hard person to impress and I always think there's room for improvement. Is this the best drink it could possibly be? Maybe not. So it's not getting a 5 out of 5. Is this a really nice drink that I'm happy with right now? Absolutely. So 4 out of 5. Thank you and cheers.